Welcome to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman, a podcast that deals with the early life of J.R. Hendrick. And now, Home Fronts on the Ranch Part 2, reading J.R. and Jimmy. Here we go. Alright, be patient. I gotta remember where I left off. We had a little faux pas earlier, so I'm asking you guys to be patient with me while we get this sorted out. Alright. 1 a.m. Waking up, Elizabeth reads a romance novel to keep her mind off her appointment with Dr. Theodore. The thought of having cancer again, with endless rounds of chemo, made her sick inside. 3:15 a.m. Jim is in his ranch office, when he sees his mother-in-law reaching for some whiskey to mix some more tonic. A trick she learned from her mother and her husband. With nothing but documentaries and infomercials on TV news, Jim decides to reach for the Henry Report. 2 news stories did almost make him turn away from the email newsletter. Was about China's human rights violations. But one story that fascinated him was the jeers that Mariah Carey was getting for having a Macy's Thanksgiving show. Now he could care less about Mariah Carey, but he knew that Betsy liked it because she was down with the kids. Jim was more into Elton John, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Frank Sinatra, and Aretha Franklin. He considered any music other than his favorite artists after 1975 to be noise. 9:20 a.m. 20 minutes after arriving and checking in to the examining room, Dr. Theodore walked into the office. Mrs. Swain, I have the results, and I wish I could be more hopeful, Dr. Theodore said. Please, explain the results, Betsy said. The cancer is back. Increase of T cells trying to attack the cancer is pretty evident once again. I received this from the hospital. So what does this mean? Elizabeth asked. You may only have a year to live. She's living in with us in Washington, D.C. in January, Betsy said. Very well. There's some very good oncologists there, Dr. Clayton and Dr. Ray. Some of the more progressive doctors that can try to give the treatments and keep her comfortable. But I would like to have to start chemotherapy Wednesday morning. Thank you, Doctor, Elizabeth said. 9:30 a.m. I just got off riding Bandit when Mama pulled into the drive. She ran inside the house and went upstairs to cry. Grandma, though, was just all stoic. Never seen her cry ever, except since I was a child. She was a trooper in dealing with cancer, and she never let it show if it was getting her down. Jim was downstairs in the office when he could hear Betsy crying in the room. He went upstairs to try to console her, but the door was locked. She wouldn't let him in. 9:50 a.m. Betsy walks into the living room, and you could still see the tears on her face. "Betsy, honey, I need you to be strong," Elizabeth said. "How can I be strong when Gerald doesn't need to know about this? Gerald doesn't know about this. It will show him," Betsy said. "Think to what I've talked to you when he was a kid and he was sick. Use your head. If he finds out on his own, yes, it will devastate him. But he will come out strong and stronger in the end." "How do I know that?" "Because he is a swain. Swain gentlemen cry when they fall down, but they get up." 11:10 a.m. "Let's go," Ken said as Gerald gets into his truck. "Gerald, man, good to see you." There was a short pause. "Buddy, I've been hearing a few things about you. You're really into the hype, but then I think you're confused that much anymore. We want to hear you. We all hear the Jennifer Bowers, man. Ask her to marry you." "I'm working on it. Her family don't make it necessarily easy for us to stay together," Jared said. "Man, listen. I tried doing Jim Bob, but he's hanging out with Brad. Forget them. Let's go have some lunch and some hope." "We all hope. That's something I feel like I need. Trust me. I was hoping that Jennifer and I could build an empire of our own, independent of Daddy. Man, I'm concerned you keep it on this way. Don't rip your dad. Like your dad, please," Ken said. Ken takes us to Whataburger for lunch. At lunch, Jerry and Ken talk. "Oh, my Lord. I think I ate too much." "Why do you keep doing that? You'll destroy your body," Ken said. "Discretionary eating, Ken. You have a part of that. When I was 15, my granddad said he would try to quit drinking. So he picked up eating instead. It wasn't until last year before he died, he said to hell with it and went back to the Coors and Jack Daniels. At least I won't catch you being an alcoholic. Don't have to worry about that." "Yeah, don't remind me. There's something going on in my family today, and they're not saying. Maybe it's best for a while. I don't know." 11:45 a.m. Back in the truck, JR and Ken talk again, continuing their conversation from in the restaurant. I have to say the old days was my favorite kind of fun. I mean, going to hotels, field trips. I remember Miss McFry, the English teacher, didn't want me going with you to the field trip, but the coach said he would help me study if she let me go with y'all so I could help you. Brad and Jim Bob were the informants of the group. In some ways, I couldn't stand either one of them. At least Jim Bob's somewhat forgivable. Anymore, he can't keep a secret. There are 3 ways of spreading a message: telephone, television, and Jim Bob. 12:40 p.m. Claude comes to the ranch to see Jim as Betsy and Becky go shopping. 1 p.m. At the ranch, Jim and Claude discuss the upcoming return to Washington, D.C. Jim is anxious to get back to the Power games there. 3:10 p.m. Happy at Ken's condo, we decided to order us some pizza. We had a Monopoly game going on. Yesterday, Ken had spent Thanksgiving with his sister Carly. 3:30 p.m. With Claude gone, Betsy returns with 5 bags of gifts. Cologne for Jim, a talking watch for JR, a stereo for Christine, and cookware for Kyle and Madison, mittens and gloves with hats for Elizabeth, and toys for the kids. 5 p.m. Pizza having arrived, JR and Ken sit down for dinner, enjoying some of the best time. With JR, I was enjoying some of the best times I could have. Until I could return home for a few days before leaving for Gainesville. Thing is, Ken would be with his parents in their townhouse in Euless, Texas. 7 p.m. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, some of the family gets ready to enjoy some Thanksgiving leftovers. It was with it was there that they told Thomas news. But as having to hold his kid, this father was strong and understanding. 9:50 p.m. Arriving home at the ranch, I found Grandma in the living room by the fireplace, reading a special Inquirer issue about the Lightfoot maternity and custody debacle. Giving her a long hug, I go up the stairs to the second den of the study. We hope you enjoy listening to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and become a part of the adventure. This is the James Hendrick Empowerment Network saying until next time, get ready for the rest of the story. It gets interesting from here.